In China, one of the most downloaded apps right now doesn't track your steps. It doesn't promise to make you healthier or happier. It only asks you one thing: are you still alive? This isn't fiction. It isn't speculative technology. It's a real app, created in China, and millions of people have already downloaded it. On the surface, the idea is simple. You install the app, you tell it who to contact if something happens to you. A friend, a family member, someone you trust to care. You set a time window. It could be a day, or it could be longer. Within that window, the app will quietly ask you to check in. There is no flashing red text, just a small prompt on your phone, asking you to confirm that you are still alive. You tap it. The screen confirms your response. And then, nothing. No streak counter climbing higher. The app simply resets its timer. If you forget, or you're asleep, or your phone is off, there is only a silence. And then, an alert. When your time window passes with no response, the app sends a message to the person you chose. The alert is straightforward. The user has not confirmed that they're alive. It doesn't show your location. It only tells them that you didn't respond when you were supposed to. From there, whatever happens next is up to them. They might call you. They might call the police. They might knock on your door or ask someone else to. When journalists asked the developers why they built it, the answer wasn't dramatic. It was practical. They described it as a safety tool, something for people who live alone, for people with health conditions, for those afraid of dying quietly in an empty apartment with no one there to see. The app wasn't designed to scare people. It was designed for people who were already scared. Scared that if they collapsed, they might not be found for days. Scared that if something went wrong in the middle of the night, their life might end. But their absence would go unnoticed for a very long time. Even its name unsettled people, not because it threatened you, but because it refused to soften the question. It didn't hide behind euphemisms about well-being. It said bluntly, "We need to know if you're dead." And if we have to ask, something about the way we live has already changed. But to understand why this app exists at all, we have to look at how people are living now. In China's largest cities, living alone has become normal. High-rise apartments stretch upward in every direction. Inside, behind the doors and steel gates, are millions of single-person households. Young professionals who moved away from their hometowns to find work. Migrant workers who left families behind hundreds or thousands of kilometers away. Elderly residents whose children have moved to other cities or other countries. In these dense, crowded places, you can be surrounded by people at all times and have no one who would notice if you disappeared for a day or a week. Living alone used to be a temporary phase, something between leaving your parents' home and forming a new family of your own. For many people now, it's not a phase. It's the plan. And this isn't unique to China. Across the world, in cities in Europe, North America, Asia, and beyond, single-person households have become one of the fastest growing types of household. Long working hours, long commutes, and digital communication have changed the way people interact with each other. But beneath the language and the statistics is a quieter, more specific fear. It isn't just about feeling lonely while you're alive. It's about what happens if something goes wrong while you're alone. Many news stories quietly repeat the same details. A person who lived alone in an apartment or a house. A neighbor who noticed they hadn't seen them lately. Mail piling up. a smell in the hallway, a door eventually opened. Someone who had been gone for far longer than anyone realized. The fear wasn't just dying, it was being found too late. It was the idea that your last moment might not be the end of your story, that there might be a stretch of time where you're absent, but no one knows you've left yet. People didn't download this app as a curiosity. They downloaded it because that scenario was already playing in the back of their mind. What if something happened to me and no one noticed? They weren't expecting danger from the app. They were trying to protect themselves from a danger the app quietly acknowledged. In a world more connected than ever, it is still possible to die unseen. When the app appeared, people reacted in very different ways. Some with dark humor. Online, they compared it to dystopian fiction. They joked that this was the ultimate Black Mirror episode. They imagined themselves forgetting to tap the button, triggering waves of panic among friends who thought they were dead when they were just sleeping in. They laughed at the idea of failing the alive check because their phone battery died. Humor made the concept easier to hold. Other people, though, didn't laugh. They said they hated that this kind of app needed to exist at all. They found the idea itself deeply unsettling. Some imagined installing it and feeling uneasy, not because the app was watching them, but because of what missing a check-in might mean. They thought about their designated contact, receiving that alert. They pictured someone they cared about going straight to the worst-case scenario because they'd missed a tap. For them, the app didn't reduce anxiety. It relocated it. From the fear of being found too late to the fear of causing a false alarm every time they missed a notification. Others focused on what the app implied about society, that we have reached a point where for a large number of people, there is no one who would automatically notice their absence. On the surface, the reactions looked divided, jokes on one side, unease on the other. But under both was the same discomfort, because whether people laughed or recoiled, they were all responding to the same realization. This app didn't create the fear, it revealed one that was already there. The fear of being invisible in a world that is always watching. And that leads to a larger question. There was a time when absence itself was suspicious. If you didn't open your shop in the morning, someone would ask why. If you didn't show up at weekly gatherings, religious services, or regular community events, someone would knock on your door. Neighbors didn't share walls, they shared information. They saw you often enough that silence stood out. Now, software performs much of that noticing. Your messaging apps mark when you were last seen. Your social media accounts show the date of your last post. To the platforms that host them, you are a stream of signals, online or offline, active or inactive, posting or silent. The Are You Dead app in China is simply one of the few tools that admits openly what it is tracking. As a safety net, it works exactly as intended. In a very narrow sense, it's rational. It may even be compassionate. But as a sign of how people are living, it's much harder to ignore. Because this app doesn't exist in isolation. It exists alongside a growing system of services built to manage what happens when we disappear. Social networks now memorialize accounts after death. A small label appears, remembering. Friends and relatives leave comments on pages that will never post again. There are services that let you schedule emails into the future. In some cases, messages that are meant to be sent after you've gone. All of these tools exist because they solve real problems. But taken together, they suggest a shift from a world where family, neighbors, co-workers, and friends were the ones who noticed, remembered, and carried your existence forward, to a world where much of that responsibility is quietly delegated to software. We are building systems to ask in code the questions that used to be asked in person. Are you okay? We haven't seen you. The app that asks whether you're dead is just the most direct version. This app doesn't watch you while you sleep. It doesn't track your location. It just waits. It waits for a small, ordinary gesture, a tap on a screen that says, "I'm still here." When you make that gesture, nothing dramatic happens. The app simply goes back to waiting again. But if you don't, it tells someone you chose that maybe they should be worried. An app that asks if you're alive isn't a sign of how advanced our technology has become. It's a sign of how alone many lives have become. To download it is to admit something quietly to yourself. There might not be anyone who would know quickly if you were gone. It's easy to see this as a strange story about one country or one app, but underneath it is a question that doesn't belong to any single place. If enough people feel the need to install an app just to make sure someone will notice when they're dead, what does that say about the way we are living?